Hey all. Hey, how about that Fool in the Rain? I think one of their better tunes, believe it or not. Not a rock song necessarily, but it does have one of Jimmy's best solos in it. There's a main, it's more of a piano song, it feels like, but there's an electric part, and then I think two acoustic guitar overdubs going on it. But let's do some basic parts of it on electric and acoustic. So it's in C. C, F, G, that's the main thing. That's the way I'm doing it. So on D, G, and B at 5, like in C. Like a barred C. So that same suspension you do a lot in rock. Up 1 on the B, up 2 on the D. Goes up to a C here. That's F, D, G, and B at 10. The second one. That's the same as this suspended one, except now it's up here at 7. So that's C, all 3 of those, D, G, B. This whole thing is done on D, G, and B strings. 3 at 5, all 3 at 5. Up 1 on the B and 2 on the D. Up here to a C at the 8th fret. Is it F? So that's B at 8, G at 7, D at 9. And then open D, G. And then the second one is the same, except it doesn't end on that last little thing. And it just stops. It doesn't go. Then it does the okay. We might as well do it in order. So you're doing the riff, that riff. A bunch of times. And the clock on the wall's moving slower, right? That part. Let's do that on acoustic. Hold on. Okay. You get that clock on the wall's moving slower, right? So I do that. I think there's 2 guitars doing harmony lines. So I'm going to do this one. Right, that's the clock on the walls moving slower. I think that's the part. When the acoustic first comes in, right? So that's just a C. Right? So on the D, G, and B strings, so you don't have to play you don't have to finger the A string of a C chord, but you could. D, G, B strings of a C chord. Then do it on an F. That's up to a G now. You just kind of slide up the D string at 5 to a B string at 3. So on the D and B string. 5, 3, 3, 1, and then neither open, both open. back to the riff, back to electric. So we're back to, oh, okay. So we're back to electric into another verse. Then on the second time through, it does. Right, it does that little part as the second half of it, and that just right, C, G, C, F. So it's, so if you were going to bar a C or do the Beatles C or bar C, it's the top part of that. And I think he does on the high E, he does 3 just. And you got to get those really kind of staccato. Whatever fingers you want to finger with, but it's this. So it's this, C, 3, and B, G and B at 5. That's an F. Just a D shape, brought up to 5. That's 1 on F, 0, 3 on the B to start it over. That's a little turnaround. But I give it a little. Same thing. Or you could do. Sorry. And then back into the riff. Okay, so you got that little acoustic part, right? Then back into the riff. So now you're back to the electric part again. So then in the electric part, you can do the same. You can do that acoustic stuff right on this guitar, same thing. So then it gets to the and then the whistle. Boop 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 boop. Same chord, except it doesn't really do that chord. C, then that suspension on it. 1 up on B, 2 up on D. Then you do your F. This D, or sorry, G. It's the same suspension you did here, except now it's up 2 frets. And then right toward the very end of that little got to get oh. And then it's into the guitar solo, it gets back into it, but that's just the C with the suspension, then just move the suspension up 2 frets, then back down 2 frets. Then it's back into the. not doing a solo part, but that's how. And at the end, it just starts with. Oh, sorry. And it ends on that. Those are really the main bits of it, and I think if you take a little time and get them not as sloppy as I've got them, but really work on it, I think you can master this one, and you can do the whole thing on electric. I just like the sound of that acoustic for that. A lot of, well, I don't know if there are a lot of people playing it on on YouTube, but I saw a few, and people do it a lot of different ways. So my advice would be to search through the way people do it, see what you see, then add your own interpretation of what it is, and you can come up with a complete version of it. But if I were going to play it in a cover band or something like that, I'd probably do something like this. You need that octave pedal for the guitar solo, but beyond that, you could probably do it with one guitar. Now, the last thing, after it comes out of the "and now my body," that's my body is starting to quiver. That little, I think he's actually overdubbing one that just goes, and then he overlaps them. But if you're going to do one guitar, C, F, G, I do it like that. Slide up to 7 on the E, and then 5, 7 on the A string, and then I would hit D and G at 5. Because there's no way to get that A string. Well, you could. It's hard. Yeah, you could, but I'd probably do it. And then it goes into the. Goes into that little lick, and then ends on the. Like that. Good luck.